Okay, now the last round of questions. I apologize for getting out of sequence. So we'll start this round with Alex and Ryan, back to you.
Yeah, so I think so. We kind of answered this a little bit, but we can go a little more detail. What businesses like you really should either avoid AI or ML or just not do it at all?
Yeah, I'll go to like ethical AI. So like we in the US have probably the strongest, one of the strongest ethics and basis is even in the defense world, everything's human in the loop, right? So even if there's a point where someone uses a drone for something nefarious, it's like the human has to pull a trigger and, basically accept the responsibility and go to court if it's on them shoulders to do something wrong. There's a lot of places in the world where that's not true. So I think in certain areas, it's like, well, how do you counter some of these nefarious cyber hacking capabilities? Well, you have to have the better cyber AI, right? So like it's like a arms race, and it's like you don't want to have certain places like nuclear weapons being threatened. It's like, what are the areas where it could get to that level of impending doom, and put some rules around it on a very high level. It's like, no, you shouldn't build nuclear weapons, or you shouldn't get to a higher level of cybersecurity where one system can hack everyone in the world at the same time and just post a video like V for Vendetta style on everyone's screen, So I think there's certain things like that. Just, I think the US is thinking of. I'm not sure if every country in the world is, right?
Okay. Next up then would be Denise.
Yeah, so I would say that I would bring up ethics as well as Alex did, because I do believe that most businesses, so I will restate my statement that I made earlier, maybe not all businesses, because those that potentially could create nuclear, bombs and those types of mad weapons, we don't want them to have the ability to generate artificial intelligence or use artificial intelligence in their world. But the reality is most small to medium, large size businesses could most certainly utilize AI in some facet or form. But it does get back to ethical AI. And it's not just being able to sue the person who created that AI. It's really about creating AI that's unbiased. Because right now, one person could create a AI robot that, for whatever reason, that robot, because that person doesn't love ice cream, they are not going to love ice cream. Then that's going to taint every conversation that they have about ice cream when they respond. And you don't want that. That's on the most granular level so everyone can conceptually understand. But the reality is you've got to have an unbiased and an ethical, and to that definition and or requirements, you need to make sure that the right people are actually utilizing the solutions, as Alex said. And then I'll let Samir finish out, because he really, he's got a great point that he made earlier in which ones shouldn't be using when it gets down to the nuts and bolts of it, and not necessarily the ethical aspect of it.
Okay, nice handoff. Samir, thank you.
Right. So before starting that, I just want to say I'll sound off very tangential on this. I don't understand the ethics of AI that people are setting, right? AI is at the end of the day a man-made thing. A human, a person sits behind a computer. He writes the code, he or she writes the code, and then deploy it at the end of for the end users, right? For example, let me give you a very, I'll say it's a very bad example, right? Let's say Russia is attacking on Ukraine, right? And they made a bomb which goes to the Ukraine, and then 10 people lost their leg, right? Now, Ukraine wants to develop something by which those people should be able to walk again. Now, for Russia, is it ethical that, oh, we wanted to terminate those people and they wanted to create something which will make them run again? And for Ukraine, is it fair that, oh, we want our people to run again when we never want this thing to happen again in the world? This concept, why I'm saying this is something which has been done by Israel, right? Which they call it Iron Dome. They created a system by which any nuclear missile, any kind of missile which intercepts into their atmosphere, in the next 10 seconds, it will uh, throw a missile from the Israel, and they will terminate those other missiles from the other countries which are coming into their ecosystem or the atmosphere, right? Now, the thing is, ethics is still it becomes very political debate when we say, okay, let's say this is a bipartisan country and we want this kind of a culture, and the other country, other party says we want this kind of a culture. At the end of the day, AI is something which is governed by a person, right? If you're a person who is making the AI logic, if that person is ethical, every other thing is makes sense. It will be ethical, right? It will not be political. Now, the second thing is at which places we should not apply AI. The correct answer is we even don't know it yet, because right now we are in a phase where, as Alex was mentioning, where kids will create art and everything. The kids are creating the art. It is NFTs are the big thing in the market, right? There's kids are creating YouTube Shorts video, right? There is AI logic which makes their video push again and again to us so that we view more and they get ad revenue and everything. 16-year-olds are becoming millionaire and all the other things without even completing their high schools. So are we turning to a economy which will be more like everybody is doing gig economy and there is no structural benefit to it? I think it is good for the society. Why anybody will follow a norm? There will be people who will be specialized in a certain area, like there will be let's say aerospace engineers, right? And they might be making the TikTok at the end of the day, at the end of their day, that okay, we are dancing, we are chef also, and we can be aerospace engineer at the same time. So AI, and we don't know, like everything is happening due to AI, because AI made the creator economy go boom, right? But now how we will know where we need to stop it? uh, for some it might be ethical, for some it might not be unethical. The current thing is we have to just wait, and we have to see like what is the extent of development that we can do. As I have mentioned earlier also, we don't know about the framework yet, where we want the system to go. HR industry is doing something for HR, chemical industry is doing something for the chemical. We all saw the COVID, right? Corona in 2020, right? And we developed vaccines in like 8 month, 9 month time, right? Would it have been possible if we didn't had the AI and the machinery? But everybody opposed the machinery, AI, and the beltline chain when it came into the existence. So, do we know the extent of its usage? No. Chemical can be used for chemical warfare also, right? But we used it to develop a vaccine. So, that depends on the person, that depends on the scientist, how ethical that person is. Corona is again like it is debated that is it man made? Is it a accident? Whatever happened, right? Still, it was a something which happened in a lab. There were people involved in it. So, ethics can never be political, and nobody can tell you, oh, this is ethical, this is not. It always depends on the person and the intent by which and for which they are doing.
Okay,
Well-
Alex. Sorry, hang on, Denise. Alex raised his hand a second ago. Alex, are you in the queue to respond?
Yeah. I mean, definitely comment. I mean, if you look at the gig economy mentioned from Samir's, COVID taught us one thing, which is, hey, maybe I don't need that corporate job to survive and actually have a good living, right? So who's to know that maybe 3 people don't have side gigs that are making $15,000 a month each? Wouldn't you say to your 16-year-old or your 12-year-old, hey, just do that and then figure out what you want to do in life and learn and travel the world? Like, one can argue that might not be a possibility. I think one thing to remember is some of these corporations, and even including governments, right? What's the stance on AI? If you're using it for control, when the whole global economy is embracing some of these activities and ways of living, it could be dangerous for the survivability of that corporation, for instance. So those who don't allow for this flex economy and some of these tool sets and the highest levels of innovation to purview and permeate in their organizations won't attract the top talent. So you have to think about, like, it's actually on the survivability of that company. And so what does the next generation company look like? Who's to know that the people on this call don't have a DAO or decentralized autonomous organization that makes more and has more people in the work that does way more impactful stuff for the world economy than any company would today or any government would today, right? It's totally possible in the next 10 years. So one of the things I think we all should think of is, like, what are the capabilities? Where's the trend? And don't fight the trend. It's like swimming upstream. What can we do to embrace it, to leverage these tools to attract the top talent in a global nature, right? And that might mean the governments look different, and that might mean corporations look different, but something I'm very passionate about, which is how do you create for the average person? Even imagine just do data labeling around the world. There's a lot of people that would love to make $5 an hour, right? The US kids, probably not. So, but you could have a 20x the speed of industry and innovation by leveraging global talent. You can't tell me that that's not a good thing for the world, right?
Okay, Denise?
Yeah, I was going to say, when you talk about that, Alex, I mean, really, it is about making sure that we are, as a business individually, that we are innovating. Because if you're not innovating in the grand, to summarize everything that you said, which was great, and tie it up in a bow, Alex, you've got to be innovating as an organization. And if you're not innovating, you're going to either be out or you're going to be on the way out in 3 to 5 years. And innovating can be just small little steps. What 5 years looks like, I don't really know, but I can say this for a fact: we can't just sit back and watch it and wait. We've got to be actively participating in it and ensuring that we are embracing it in a way that we can help change the trajectory of AI to ensure that we do have good ethics. We have crimes today with punishments. If you do something that is unethical, that is so unethical that it goes against the laws that we've created, then you go to jail or you are executed or whatever that punishment may be. And we need, if we're going to have ethics, we need to have those same type of penalties. There's got to be an auditing system and an ability to penalize those businesses who then sway off of that ethical line and go into the doomsday version.
Okay. Certainly went. Any more comments on that one before we close this? Alex, you had
I'm good.
You did? Okay. We certainly went into some areas that I wasn't expecting, I must admit. Ethics, doomsday, HR in a day, all that stuff. I was not expecting that.